Good evening everyone and welcome to Gundam News. And the big news for this week is of course the theatrical release of Gquuuuux Beginning in Japan on the 17th, which was either yesterday or today, depending on your time zone. And here is Editor Kakarot to quickly tell you that the movie has just been confirmed to also be shown outside of Japan. Currently, it will be shown in North America on February the 28th, with distribution being handled by GQX, and as an as of yet unspecified date, it will be shown in Hong Kong, Macau, Taiwan, Thailand, Australia, and New Zealand. So I wonder if it'll also make it to Europe. And what this is an early release of the first few episodes, but recut so it became a movie to show in theaters. You can check out the trailer for it down below, and it features the song Plasma, with a Z, by Kenshi Yonezu. And this of course also means that we now have official confirmation of what Gquuuuux is going to be about. In short, the rumors/leaks were true, which is what I was expecting considering how hard Bandai was trying to crack down on anyone talking about them. So, Gquuuuux is set in an alternate version of the Universal Century where Zeon managed to win the One-Year War. And one of the main reasons why they were able to do this was because Char managed to steal the RX-7802. For unknown reasons, when Char was scoping out the V project at Site 7, Amuro did not pilot the RX-7802, which then gave Char the opportunity to steal it, turning it into his own personal machine. This then had a serious domino effect, which down the line gave Zeon the edge they needed. Now, there is more to unpack here, but I'll turn that into its own dedicated video in a few days. So for now, let's talk about the freebies they handed out with the movie, the merchandise they released for it, and other events they're holding for it. For the freebies, moviegoers got a key visual illustration card or a Gquuuuux Arsenal-based card. For the merchandise then, first of all, there were some interesting things that you could get from the movie theaters themselves. We have the usual things like t-shirts, posters, wall scrolls, stickers, acrylic stands, keychains, etc. But there's also 2 Gquuuuux pamphlets. For 1,200 yen, 8 US, you can get the regular edition, but for 3,000 yen, 19 US, you can get the deluxe edition, which also comes with an extra materials booklet, which will of course have a lot of extra information about the movie and the things that appear in it. Limited to Aeon Cinemas then was the Gquuuuux popcorn and drink set, which comes with a Gquuuuux themed popcorn and a drink of your choice, as well as 2 Gquuuuux postcards for 900 yen, 6 US. And at the Bandai Namco Cross Store in Akihabara's Atre, a limited time official Gquuuuux store will be opening up from February the 2nd to May 18th. After which it'll pop up again in Osaka from May the 24th and in Fukuoka from June the 28th. Unfortunately, they can't show much of the stuff they're selling yet because of spoilers. And the same thing goes for their online mini game, which is what they're calling it. Although I feel like some people might call it gambling instead. Because for 600 yen per play, which is around 4 US, you will get one of 3 random prizes. One of 13 mini illustration sheets, chosen at random, one of 11 can badges, also chosen at random, or one of 5 acrylic stands. And again, due to spoiler reasons, they can't show a lot of the prizes yet. But what they could show were the arcade prizes limited to Namco arcades. On the day of the release, there was a big Haro plushie. On the 31st, there will be these 3 big acrylic stands featuring the main cast. And on February the 7th, there's small Tomonui keychains, again featuring the main cast. From Gquuuuux then, we go to Gundam Seed Freedom, because of course. On the 26th, they are celebrating the 1-year anniversary of the movie with a special event, and they just announced that people attending said event will receive a special birthday card, so that is cute. For the figures then, we first got the announcement that the Robot Spirits RX-78-2, Char Zaku 2, and the Standard Zaku 2 will be getting a restock in March, which was followed by the announcement of the Gundam Fixed Figuration Metal Composite Gundam Deathscythe Endless Waltz version / Gundam Deathscythe Endless Waltz version Rousette equipment type, which is quite the name for quite the figure with quite the price tag. 41,800 yen, or 268 US to be exact. And as the name indicates, you can choose to either have him as the standard version or as the Rousette version, which can be transformed into 3 states: stored, normal, or deployed, and this will also of course allow the Deathscythe to transform into its Raven mode. And for even more customization, we also get 2 V-fins, being one based on the sketches and one based on the early illustrations. And for the Gunpla, it was announced that on the 25th, the high-grade Gundam Wing Zero clear color version will be releasing at the Gundam base and Gundam Side F. The thing will go for 1,760 yen, 11 US, and as the name indicates, it is just a clear color version of the standard Wing Gundam Zero. Meanwhile, on the gaming front, in Gundam Battle Operation 2 for the PlayStation, the RF Zaku has joined the fray, while on Steam the Zeta Plus A2 has become available, which is the version with the high mega cannon installed in its head. In UCEngage then, we are getting the UR Judo Ashtam and the Double Zeta GR as event unit assemblies, as well as a new mission battle. And in the Arsenal Base arcade game, the alternative 30th anniversary card pack Get campaign has begun. It'll last until January the 26th and will allow players to collect promotional cards from G Gundam, Gundam Wing, and Gundam X. There's Domon and the Shining Gundam, Hero and the Wing Gundam, Duo and the Deathscythe, Garrett and the Gundam X, and then also 2 secret cards. And in other news, Gundam has teamed up with Tohoto to create Gundam-themed Poteco, a popular snack that is released by Tohoto. You'll be able to get these black pepper flavored potato rings on February the 3rd, and included in each packet will be one of 25 stickers, featuring mobile suits from either the original Gundam series or Char's Counterattack. As for the things you could get this week then, first up on the 11th we got the Gundam 0083 Stardust memory set, which comes with the BB Senshi GPO-1 Fulburnian, the GPO-2A, the GPO-3 with the Dendrobium, and the Noyad Zeal. Unfortunately, at 4,510 yen, 29 US, it is slightly more expensive than getting them separately. Although this is of course assuming the old retail price of the individual kits. On the 13th then, we got Bitlot Gundam, which is a set of 5 Gundam minifigures that really reminds me a lot of Lego minifigures, albeit more articulated and with more detail. But I still think that the resemblance is there. For 748 yen each, 5 US, you can get the RX-78-2 with beam rifle and shield, Char's Zaku 2 with bazooka and heat hawk, a standard Zaku 2 with machine gun and heat hawk, Armor Ray with a jetpack, pistol and removable helmet, and Char Azabel with a rifle and also a removable helmet. And in true LEGO minifigure style, the weapons can of course also be freely exchanged. And I feel like those helmets should also be exchangeable. And also on that day, you could get the second series of Gundam Seed Freedom clear visual posters from flat Gachapon machines across Japan. They go for 200 yen each, a little over $1, and there are a total of 16 to collect, featuring both the main characters and the main mobile suits. Although despite being branded as Gundam Seed Freedom, there is one featuring just the standard Freedom. And then finally on the 17th, we of course got a bunch of Gunpla, with the most anticipated one being the high-grade Gquuuuux going for 2,200 yen, 14 US. Not only is it the lead of the brand new Gquuuuux anime, but it's also the only actually new kit being released this month. And included with this brand new thing are two heads, being one with the VFin active and one with the VFin stored, two sets of hands, two beam sabers, a beam rifle, a heat hawk, a shield, and a separate cockpit module. And along with having a very funky design, it also seems to have a lot of dynamic posing potential. The two less new kits then are the entry grade Strike Rouge and the option part set Gunpla 14 Gun Barrel Striker. And both of them are just slightly different re-releases of previously limited kits, but now as standard releases. The entry grade Strike Rouge goes for 880 yen, 6 US, and was previously released as a slightly limited set together with some snacks. The main difference then, other than that lack of snacks, is that instead of two armor schneiders, it now comes with a beam rifle, a shield, and marking stickers. And in some of the new promotional images, they show that it's compatible with the Ale Striker, the Sword Striker, and the Gun Barrel Striker. None of which should be surprising, but it's nice to have the confirmation. The Gun Barrel Striker then goes for 1,320 yen, 8 US, and is the standard version of the Gun Barrel Striker that was included with the Gundam Breaker 4 limited edition. This does mean that it has some nice quality of life upgrades, like a detachable Gatling gun that can now serve as a handheld weapon, and compatibility with modern Gunpla, thanks to coming both with a single PEG connector for Striker Pack compatible mobile suits and a double PEG connector. But unfortunately, it does lose some of the mechanical detail from the original release that was included with the Gun Barrel Dagger, way back when. And in the promotional images, we also get some cool configurations, including something I'm just going to dub the perfect Gun Barrel Striker. It has the Gun Barrel Striker, the shoulder armor of both the Sword Striker and the Launcher Striker, and the Schwertgewehr. Maybe this should have been Moo's mobile suit at the end, or well, the configuration of his mobile suit at the final battle of Gundam Seed. But alas. Moving on to this week's reading material then, there was the February issue of New Type featuring a preview of Gquuuuux and the newest big comic superior in which Gundam Thunderbolt is being serialized. On to the apparel news, where it was again just straight G this week. And this time it was with two sets of Gundam Seed Freedom inspired socks. Set 1 has white Compass socks, blue Terminal socks, and black Zaft socks, whereas Set 2 has grey, blue, and brown socks with different colored Haros on them. Both sets will be available in physical Strict G stores on the 18th, which is today or tomorrow, again depending on your time zone, and they'll go for 2,750 yen each, 18 US. And as always, let's quickly wrap things up with the polls. A few weeks ago, Gundam.info wanted to know what the biggest Gundam thing was in 2024. And to absolutely no one's surprise, Gundam Seed Freedom had a landslide victory with 92.5%. I don't think I've ever seen such a decisive win in a Gundam.info poll before. But again, this was completely to be expected. Just look at the popularity of Gundam Seed Freedom. Not just was this like the biggest Gundam thing of 2024, in Japan this was straight up one of the top pop culture things. Whether this is deserved or not is an opinion that varies from person to person, but it is a fact that it performed incredibly well. So yeah, there really weren't a lot of points left for the other three. G Gundam's 30th anniversary managed to scrounge together 4.3%, Requiem for Vengeance got 2.4%, and Silver Phantom got a minuscule 0.8%. which is something that was also kind of to be expected considering that it's a VR movie, which is a very niche thing. As for the currently ongoing poll then, because January the 13th is coming of age day in Japan, Gundam.info wants to know who our favorite 18-year-old Gundam character is. Ryu Jose, Roy B. Roy, Loni Garvey, or Arisa Gunhale. And I don't think anyone is going to be surprised to hear that Ryu is leading by a comfortable margin. He is followed by Loni in 2nd place, Roy B in 3rd place, and Arisa in 4th place. The most interesting thing about this poll, though, is realizing that all of these people are supposed to be 18 because, you know, in anime, ages or like how old the characters actually look can vary widely. And if you want to cast your vote, I'll of course have the links down below. And that has been all for this week's Gundam news. As always, a big thank you to the Patreon supporters. I hope everyone watching has a great evening, and I'll see you all next week with more Gundam news.